Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel and you're welcome to the 23rd day of my series 23 till I'm 23. This is the 23rd day and the last day, and it's also my birthday. I'm so pleased to have completed this series. It's a journey I started. I've even forgotten the dates that I started, but it's something that I started, and I'm so glad that I stayed till the end, showing up every single day. So, the topic for today, being day 23 and being my birthday, is birthday blues, why you get them, and how to avoid them. Having birthday blues is something I used to experience, especially as I became an adult, as I stepped into adulthood. That's from 18 thereabout. It's something that used to be very peculiar to me on my birthdays, but I'm so glad that it's something that I no longer experience as I used to before. But in the last 2 years, I've not experienced birthday blues, and I think it's because a certain level of understanding has hit me, and I think it's primarily because of a mindset shift. So that's basically what I'm going to be telling you about today: birthday blues, why you get them, and how to prevent them. Birthday blues is actually something that is very common, even though I believe a lot of people may not really talk about it, but it's very, very common to have people who are unhappy on their birthday, or in days leading to their birthday or after their birthday. So birthday blues is basically a feeling of anxiety, feeling of sadness, feeling of depression, or just a wave of sad emotions that you get prior to your birthday, on your birthday, or after your birthday. So for different people, there are different reasons why they get the whole birthday blues and all of that. For some people it's emotional, some people it's situational, some people it's psychological. Like, once it has to do with anything celebration, they are just not happy, they are just not having it. But for me, the birthday blues I used to experience, I would say it was largely situational, and I would explain to you how so. So now let's get right into the birthday blues proper. What used to happen when I used to experience birthday blues, and why were they even eating in the first place? The birthday blues I used to experience, it was mostly situational factors. It was mostly situational. When I would stay back, I've done the new age, and then I begin to beat myself up about goals that I had set for myself in the previous years that I've still not met up with, about where I had envisioned myself to be at that new age, and still I'm not there yet. So mostly those situations, they bring the wave of depression, they bring the wave of sadness to me. However, I thank God that in the last 2 years, a new wave of understanding, a new change, shift in mindset has hit me, and so I do not experience that again. I don't know if I would experience it in the future, God forbid, but even if it comes, I have a functional system that makes me stay away from the whole wave of depression and all of that. When I see myself, I know what I envision for myself. I know where I see myself. I know the future that I see. It's very bright, and it's very, oh my God. I used to have, or I still have, that much vision about myself, and whenever my birthday comes and those things are not close by, there's this wave of depression that hits, this wave of sadness that hits. What I used to do wrong is those years is dwelling on the things that I want and wanting them right now, while removing or erasing the parts where I have to pay so much price or do so much hard work to eventually get me there. So a part of me would so much want those things and want them right now, and when they're not coming, I just feel so sad that they're not there yet. I really know the women I look up to, women like my sisters, women like Moabudu, women like Ibuku Awosika, women like Ngozi Okonjo Iweala. Like, I really love whatever these women are doing. I really love their personality and all that they have currently. However, that 18-year-old me really wanted everything that these women have, while at the same time removing the parts where they've experienced a lot and they've put in so much hard work to get them to where they currently are. So I wanted their life, I wanted their lifestyle. However, I wanted it right now at 18. That's crazy. So it was me wanting what hardworking people have, while refusing to do the work that was involved to get me there. So a part of me really wanted that lifestyle, a part of me really wanted their life, a part of me really wanted that influence that they did have, but just remove the hard work part of it, and I want to be there. I just want to close my eye and see myself there with all the affluence and all of that. However, that's not the way life works, and I thank God for that shift in mindset. When I did self analysis, I had to bring myself, call myself, oh yeah, come here. This thing now that you say that you want, all these things that you're looking at, you have big eye, all these things that you're looking at, have you actually taken any steps in the same direction as these women have? So what right do you have to be depressed that you do not have what they have? It's a different case if you've been walking in that direction and then it's not coming forth. I mean, the depression in that case can be validated, but this one, you're just balancing on your bed and wanting to be like Moabudu. How exactly? Another thing too that used to cause the birthday blues was also a purpose crisis. I used to be so beaten about what my purpose, what God's purpose for my life is. What's my purpose? What was I created for? I used to be so beaten about it. And the truth is that I thank God for understanding, because right now, the questions I used to ask myself to figure out what my purpose is supposed to be in life are really not what I'm concerned about right now. So I think this whole birthday blues thing, a different understanding has hit me and it has shifted my perspective around it. I've spoken about how I used to be years back. So what am I doing differently now? What have I done differently that has thrown away the whole birthday blues mood and all of that? Now let's get right into it. One of the reasons why I used to experience birthday blues was because of a purpose crisis, right? But currently that problem has been somewhat solved because a new understanding has hit me. And what is that understanding? That understanding is that only the creator knows what he made me for. Only God who created me knows why he created me. And so in whatever ways I'm trying to find my purpose outside of him, it's going to be very much futile, because he's the one that created me in the first place, so he knows why. And then seeking purpose outside of him would eventually make me do many good things, but then those good things that I'm invested in doing might not really be his purpose for my life in the first place. I've come to understand that I was created by God and he knows why he created me. So to find my purpose, I have to find it in him. I really cannot find it outside of him. What this has come to mean for me is that I might be busy asking myself questions. What do I want out of life? What do I want to achieve? And all of those questions that people ask when they want to find out their purpose, the purpose for their lives. However, I might ask those questions, get the answers, and get invested in doing something that is worthwhile, in doing something that is really good. But that's something that is worthwhile, that's something that seems good to the eyes, might really not be God's plan, might really not be God's purpose for my life, even though it's very much good, even though it's very much worthwhile. So that understanding has really solved the purpose problem for me, because it used to really be a big thing. I felt like I was getting old and I did not even know what I was supposed to be doing with life. But right now, I'm figuring out life with God, and really, you cannot do it outside of Him. You cannot find out your purpose outside of Him. This purpose thing is just like, let's say, ice cream container, for example. If you see an ice cream container now, your mind is going to be like, oh my God, ice cream is going to be inside it. And when you go there, you open it, and see jewelries and all of that. You're going to be very much disappointed, because in the first place, that container was made to be carrying ice cream. Now, the point is carrying jewelry. It's fulfilling purpose actually, but that's not the actual purpose that it was made for in the first place. That's what you might get yourself into if you're trying to figure out your purpose outside of God, because you might be so invested in doing something that might seem right to you. However, that is not God's plan for you. So the second problem I used to have was the big dream crisis, the big dream problem. I mentioned earlier how I used to see visionary women and really want what they have at 18 years old. The different understanding that has hit me now is that it's really not bad to want what these women have. It's really not bad to want what influential people have, or all the good things of life. However, the problem is that you cannot be wanting it without steering your wheel in the same direction as they had done. It means that your life will remain the same, your dreams will remain dreams, your wants will remain wants if you do not shift yourself or tilt yourself in that same direction as they had. Let's take, for example, a corporate woman who is 50 years old. Obviously, she has about 20 or 30 years of experience in her field. Now, I cannot be wanting that at 18 years old because there's a lot of building that had really gone into that. There's a lot of behind the scene work that's gone into eventually making that woman. So, wanting that at my age without that experience, without all those building processes, is insane. In fact, at this point, I need to even question myself because what was wrong with me? So, what I currently lack is those years of building. So, what difference am I making in this case? I've taken myself away from just wanting. However, I've put myself in a place where I'm now taking steps towards those things that I see myself as in the future, those things that I really want. And the third reason for the whole birthday blues thing was the social media crisis. This one is crazy because you can just be balanced in one day, enjoying your interesting life, drinking your gari without sugar, and then you open Instagram and just like that you see a 12-year-old boy has bought house in Lekki. I promise you, once you are that Gary that you're drinking, you will not even want to drink it again. Like, you just be so sad. You'll be like, what am I doing in my life? Am I useless? Like, you just feel like you're not doing enough. So, how have I solved this problem of having to see my age mates who are really doing so well for themselves? Now, in this regard, I'm not talking about people that are doing illegal things. I'm talking about people that are really doing very much legal things and they're doing very well for themselves, even though they are at my age, right? So, what I've learned to do is instead of comparing myself and seeing all the ways by which my life is very upside down, instead I bring them and I look at the amount of steps that they are taking or whatever steps they might have taken earlier that have gotten them to where they currently are, and then I incorporate those steps to in my journey depending on what direction I want to head on to. So rather than beating myself up about what my age mates might have achieved or all of that, I concentrate on my own journey and recognize the fact that all of us are on different paths in life. Much as this person has gotten it faster, doesn't mean that I wouldn't eventually get it as well, provided I do what I have to do. I've learned to concentrate less on other people's paths and admire them if I must. If I like what they're doing, I'd admire it. It's okay to want them. However, it's not so good to compare yourself with the next person. It does a lot of bad things to you, right? So rather than comparing myself to them, I focus on my own journey. While focusing on my own journey, I make sure that I'm not just sitting and folding my arms and expecting the better days to come. Better days do not come anywhere. So it involves me also learning to put in the work while being patient and waiting for my own time to shine. The fourth thing I learned to do is to practice more gratitude. So when I used to have the whole birthday blues stuff, I said that my birthday used to also have an incorporation of journaling in it, right? However, the things I used to journal about then is how to get the next year very much better, how to start acting. You know, there's this thing about new phases, there's this thing about a new age, there's this thing about a new month, there's this thing about a new day, a new week, a new year. Once it's just new, once it's just a new phase, there's this thing in you that just wants to act and get things done. So that was the approach I used to use for my birthdays before. Once it's my birthday and I'm journaling how perfect I want the next year to be, what I want to achieve and all of that. Those things are good. They are really nice. Okay, it's not so bad to do any of that. The journaling approach I learned that has kind of helped me with the whole birthday blues stuff is the part where instead of dwelling on what I want to achieve in the new year, which is still good regardless, I dwell more on the past years. I take time to reflect on the things that I'm grateful for that had happened in the past years, things that I'm thankful for, things that are done wrongly, my moral conduct, and all of that, things I would like to correct in the next year. So I take my time to reflect on the year that I'm just coming from instead of dwelling on the year that I'm heading into. I'd also write the things I want to achieve in the coming years, and I'm grateful for them also, because presenting the attitude of gratitude, it does something to my mindset. I don't know how to explain it, but it really does a lot to me. I've figured out that majority of the birthday blues that people experience, it's mostly from comparing yourself with where you had envisioned yourself to be at that age that you're turning into. So because you're not seeing that vision that you had about yourself in that new age, there's this wave of depression that just hits you, and then you feel like there's no progress in your life and all of that. So most times it's not coming because you're comparing yourself with the next person. Sometimes it's because you're comparing your current self with the futuristic self that you had seen. Another thing that I've learned that has kept me going, or that has helped me with the whole birthday blue stuff, is that while the spotlights, while the attention, while all of those things might be good, but then I figured out that true growth, true building, and all of that, they go on behind the scenes. They go on in so much obscurity where no one is watching you. And then it means you have to be very much comfortable in building in that obscurity, because if you do not build in that obscurity, then what happens when the spotlight is finally on you? While you might currently not be on that large stage that you have envisioned yourself to be, while you might not be on that place that has so much attention on you, that has so much fame attached to you, right? You must always recognize that at every point in your life, at every point in time, you are on a stage. And even in that obscurity that you think you currently are in, there's a lot of difference that can be made from that space. There's a lot of difference that can be made there. So it's important to note that God sees you right in that obscurity that you think you are in, and that's all that should truly matter. So if you experience birthday blues that are caused by these reasons that are just the same as mine, then these are the things that I've done that has helped me somewhat shift my focus from that place of negativity into a place of new light, into a different mindset altogether. So I no longer experience that sadness, that wave of depression, that wave of feeling of not having done enough, but then I'm more in a space of gratitude and contentment. So let's go over these steps for the last time, just so they stick with you. The first thing I did to solve my purpose crisis was recognizing the fact that my true purpose lies in Christ and it is found in Him. Number two is the big dreamer crisis. How I solved the big dreamer crisis is that I began to see that I cannot want something that someone else has without being ready to play my cards right to get it. I cannot want something that someone had put so much energy, put so much work in place to get, and then when I come in, I'm not willing to put that same amount of work, but then I want it. That's insane. Number three was to solve the social media crisis, and how I went about doing this is to recognize the fact that social media is both a real place and both an unreal place. Only few people will really tell you the truth and tell you how the process truly is on social media. So you must recognize that fact, and at the same time, you focus on your own journey rather than comparing yourself with the journey of your age mates on the media or even those around you. Just make sure that while you're focusing on yourself, while you're focusing on your own journey, you're doing the right things, because it's a different case if you're really spending time focusing on your journey and you're not doing anything, or even if you're doing something, you're taking the very wrong steps. Number four, I said, is to practice genuine gratitude, and in practicing genuine gratitude, you're reflecting on the previous year, where you're coming from, and the things that you're grateful for that happened there, and at the same time, you're also penning down the beautiful things that you want for your new year, while still remaining grateful for those things, because they will certainly come. Fifth point is, much as the spotlight and all of those things are actually good, there is a lot of growing, there's a lot of true building that occurs behind the scene in obscurity. And so it means that there's a part in your growth process where you will not be known, there's a part in your growth process where you will not be seen, and the earlier you recognize these parts, the better for you. It's very important to spend your points of not being seen, spend your points of obscurity, spend so much time within it, in growing as much as you can. Think about all the famous people that you can never envision in this world, and you find out that there was a phase in their life where nobody really knew about them, except maybe probably people in their circles, but nobody really knew about them, and they only came into limelight when they did something very significant, or when something just very big happened. I think it was on Instagram. I bumped into Ivy Quake's 7 years throwback or so, and I could clearly see that she had been doing that for a very long time. 7 whole years of not being seen. That's a lot of time, right? So, but she had stayed on it, and then eventually, just like that, she's now a sensation that is very beautiful to see. So these are the few steps that I've taken to fight birthday blues, and I just hope that they help you as much as they helped me as well. Being sad on your birthday or beating yourself up over things that you've not achieved, it's not a wise thing to do. And I really hope that these few points that I've put out would really help you, because they did help me. Yeah, so happy birthday once again to me, and I'm so happy to all of you who had stayed with me from the beginning of this particular series to the end. Thank you so much for being with me through this ride. And with these words said, the 23 till I'm 23 series finally come to an end. Thank you guys for everything. I don't know. I'm so grateful. Like, when I started this journey, I really had nothing in mind. I just wanted to come on here and blab. And then over the past few days, I saw my subscribers increase, I saw my views increase, and all of that. And I'm so grateful. Thank you all that have stayed with me, and God bless you. Please, oh, my channel has not closed. I'll still come back here again, but maybe this time around not with a series. I'll just come back to do my normal talking as always. But then it's my birthday, so I have some birthday things to do, and then it's Sunday. Please go to church, say one or two prayers for me. I don't know, I just want to stay here and still talk because I'm very much excited. Bye, guys.